A short few years ago, I suffered with incredible amounts of anxiety and depression. I had no clarity in my life, I had no direction, no purpose, no vision, no direction. I had this desire to want to be more, give more, add value to people's lives. I had this desire to have, personal and financial freedom. In fact, I wanted to have it all, and I wanted to see if it was possible to have it all. I didn't believe back then that was possible. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have any confidence. Heck, I literally, when I was about 16 years old, I couldn't even order off of a menu. I failed my GCSEs. My GCSEs actually spelled out fudge. And, I just got by in life. I was just getting by. I was just trying to get through life, not from life. And, I was constantly blaming the world, the system of the world, the government. I still believe now that they have their reasons for not wanting us to be successful, but that's another thing. So I was constantly hung up and constantly putting the fault, constantly putting the blame on all these things outside of me, externally. I was always looking for excuses. I was always looking for the problems. And I wasn't actually looking for opportunities in my life. I was just looking for everything that could go wrong, and that's what I found. What you focus your attention on is what you become. And I was going through this journey, and it was probably the lowest points of my life, and I was at a point where I wanted to commit suicide, and that's the truth. I was actually, back then, 3 years ago, I was living in Spain, and I was a DJ, and I used to DJ at some of the best beach clubs in the world, in Europe. I used to DJ at Ocean Beach in Ibiza. I used to have a residency there, and from the outside looking in, my life looked amazing. But what everyone didn't know was that, I had thoughts of suicide. I didn't know how to control my mind. I didn't know how to control my emotions or my behaviours. And, I was kind of like a closed book. You knew the best parts, you knew the highlights. And I told everybody about what I wanted them to know, how amazing my life was. But, no one actually knew what was actually going on inside. The full story. The hard times, the struggles, the mental issues, the challenges I was facing. I was just like a closed book. I didn't let anyone in. I didn't express how I was really feeling. And a few weeks passed when I was living in Marbella. I found my opportunity, and that opportunity was meeting my mentor. And I asked to meet my mentor for a few minutes. He wasn't my mentor back then. He was just a guy I knew from my DJ work, and I knew he was a successful guy, an entrepreneur. And I asked for 2 minutes of his time to get a bit of advice from him, because I knew he was known for his compassion to help others and be there for people and give great advice for people that was life-changing. I didn't believe that one conversation could change somebody's life. Well, it changed mine. When I met my mentor in Marbella, that 2-minute conversation turned into an hour's conversation, and he saw this pain in me. I allowed him to read my internal book, if you like. I didn't want to at the start, but he asked me the right questions, and he was enabled to get the answers that he was looking for. And he saw this broken guy, and I told him literally everything, how I was feeling about suicidal thoughts, depression, and this anxiety I had in me, this lack of clarity or purpose. I had these destructive habits and behaviours, toxic environments, and I didn't know how to change. And I told him all these things, and he gave me an opportunity in my life, and he said to me, James, he said, I'll be willing to help you because I know I can see potential in you to want to change. You know, I can see potential in you for wanting to take on a new opportunity. And he said, you know, would you be interested in, you know, me putting the time in to help you? And I said, yeah, of course, like anything I do. I was basically desperate, really, you know, but I was so eager to want to know how he done it. I was open to listen to him. So he expressed to me, he said, James, you know, if I can help you do one thing, then everything else for you will fall in place. And I said, okay, I'm open. What is it? And he opened me up to a conversation about opening up the full potential of my mind. Now, I was very hesitant back then. You know, I didn't believe in much, didn't believe in myself, I didn't believe in impossibilities. I was constantly looking at all the things that could go wrong and constantly looking at what was wrong in a situation, or, you know, I was constantly telling myself these negative stories that were ultimately controlling my life, because that's what we do. We tell ourselves stories on a day-to-day basis that are not necessarily true. They're, you know, false beliefs. We make up these situations in our head that have never even happened, and we cause ourselves all this upset, all this destruction, and all this negativity, which causes us to feel anxious and depressed. And then, you know, I said, yeah, I'm up for listening to what you've got to say about this. He said, okay. He said, you know, I've got this system that I go by, which has been the cause to all my success. And he said, I've got this manual that I've come up with, that I've implemented through my experience, which has helped me in my personal life, mentally, emotionally and physically. And it's also helped me with my financial gain, my business. It's helped me to enable to look at a business from a different perspective. Instead of being the practitioner in my business, it's allowed me to look at my business as a corporation, and, you know, kind of like a McDonald's prototype. He said, you're going to need these things as you grow, because you get to a point where you physically can't do everything yourself. You, if you're saying that you want this desire of being financially free and you want to be mentally free and personally free, he said, it takes strategic planning, it takes strategic thinking. It's more than just thinking positive, and you know, there's millions of things that can help you become positive, but it won't necessarily give you the life that you want. If you want a life of financial and personal freedom, then you're going to have to listen and take your time to understand these principles about opening up the full potential of your mind. I said, yeah, I'm up for it. At this point, I was excited. I feel like he's giving me these, letting me into these secrets that nobody knew about. I've never heard of this concept before, and ultimately, this is how Full Potential of Mine was born when the COVID situation happened. I knew people were going through the struggles, so we started helping people one-to-one, and then we literally got capped on time and limited to the people we could help. And, you know, that's not good in business. When you're at a stage where you're fully booked up and you get capped, you're limited to the amount of people you can help and provide for, you know. So once we got to that stage, I went back to my mentor. I said, you know, about when you spoke about setting your business up as a scalable business model, kind of like a McDonald's, you know, prototype. You know, I wasn't actually ready for that back then, but I think I'm ready for that now, and I want to scale and make my business a scalable business. You know, I want to reach millions of people. You know, that was always the primary aim, to change 1 million lives and build schools for kids. And he said, you can't do that by doing the one-to-one services, because you can only help a certain amount of people doing that. I said, okay, I'm ready to understand that now. I've created personal freedom for myself. I know how that works, and now I'm ready to implement the Full Potential of Mine strategy, with business. How can I go from a local business to a global business? Like, tell me how to do that. So went back to the drawing board. We took this mental plan that he helped me develop, turned it into a physical plan, and then turned it into an online how-to step-by-step guide for people, for us to literally automate our business, so we can literally pick it up and give it to other people, so they can have their own online personal development and full potential mind businesses. And that conversation changed my business, changed my outlook on business. But just going back to when I first met my mentor, he gave me an opportunity in my life, and it changed everything for me. And I constantly thank him all the time, constantly grateful for him. And you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the person I am today. But he always reminds me to thank myself, because he always says, you know, not everybody's willing to take an opportunity like you did. Not everybody's willing to reach out and ask the right question, because that's all it can take. You know, you ask better questions, you'll get better answers. And it's very true. So, you know, although I've developed personal freedom, financial freedom, you know, there was conflict. You're going to get conflict, and I come up against the odds, you know. I had, you know, the system of the world, the government against us, you know, on what's actually going on. You know, the people that are more aware of what's going on know the kind of truth behind what's happening. I'm not going to get into that, but I believe you should find your own truth and do what's right for you, and silence all that noise, because that ultimately will hold you back from a lot. That's what we did through COVID. We literally done the fucking windows up. Sorry about the swearing. We literally done the windows up, silenced out the negativity, silenced out the noise, and, you know, just focused on creating our own world, from within. Because at most times we can let that world out there control us and how we feel. And I've done that back in the day. I used to, you know, my feelings, my world, was determined by what was going on in my life, like what was going on out there, and ultimately that was controlling me, and I was a part of a system without being aware of it. So ultimately, if you want the life that you want, you have to create your own system to personal and financial freedom. You have to do that. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in a rat race. You'll be stuck in the mundane, everyday life of, you know, of what the 99% of people do. You know, get up, go to a job that they don't particularly like. Listen to the government. Listen to the government about what you can and can't do. You know, I'm not saying that there isn't a virus out there, because I think there is, but you know, flu happens every single year and people die from that. It's just because it's publicised. You know, I feel like there's two viruses: a virus in the mind, and the flu virus that's going around. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but the virus in the mind is 10 times more deadly than the flu virus. This flu virus, coronavirus. I think the virus in the mind is much more. You know, if we go into the science of you know, paralysis, you know, when we think negative thoughts, we emit a signal that is negative, fearful, destructive. These types of thoughts create atoms, create molecules in the mind, create cells, which are living things, and that signal, that frequency, gets transmitted into our body, and that's what makes us feel emotionally. You know, so whether it's negative or positive, we are in control of that emotion and that vibration by the way we think. So if we're constantly fueling ourselves with negativity in the world, then that's going to have a dramatic effect on how you feel and how you act and how you behave, and ultimately, if that's a constant repetition, that will become your habit, and that will become your reality, that will become your cycle. You get stuck in that cycle. It's very hard to reverse that until you learn how to develop new habits and replace the good with the bad. Anyway, So although there was conflict, and I went a bit off track there, but you know, there is conflict out there, but you've got to be aware of what serves you and what doesn't. You know, it's kind of like having two wolves inside of us. You know, if you feed the positive wolf and starve the negative wolf that we have inside, eventually that negative wolf will starve and die, and the positive wolf will become the strong one, and you can start to construct life in a way that you want. And that's what I did when I met my mentor. He said, eliminate all that shit, eliminate all that crap, environments, thoughts, behaviours, habits, all these things that don't serve your long-term goals and your purpose in life, to help contribute and provide and serve people. And you know, you have to fill yourself up before anything, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You know, physically, you can't. You can't pour your positivity or your education or your experience if you don't have any of that in you. So you have to fill yourself up first to be able to give, and that's what I did. You know, I filled myself up with all these strategies of like how to open up the full potential of the mind, until I got to a point where I was ready to then give it to others and teach others this stuff. And that's what we did. And then it was so needed through this COVID time that we got capped on time and limited to the people that we could help, and then went back to the drawing board and turned the physical plan into an online how-to step-by-step program that's fully automated for people to develop strong mentalities, bring their dreams into reality, find their purpose, understand what does and does not serve them. And then we also now, our main goal is to coach people on and teach people how to become a coach and how to have their own scalable online coaching business to go out there and help people. That's our main goal. Because if we can teach you how to do that, then you'll go away and scale your own business, create the financial freedom that you deserve for helping people, and it's a win-win-win every time. You know, if you take your coaching business and you're helping people, they'll develop these strategies, and then they'll go on to help other people, and that's what it's all about. It's about contribution. And you know, the people that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are normally the ones that do. And I'm crazy enough, crazy enough. You know, I am. I'm crazy about this stuff, so passionate about this stuff, and no one's ever going to stop me from achieving my goals. No one, nothing, not even myself. Anyway, so you know, that was my achievement through COVID. You know, I focused on what I could do. You know, I focused on what I could do about my situation. You know, I lost my business when COVID come. You know, I had a business in England, in Southend, in Essex, and it was, you know, I lost it. I lost all that. I lost money. You know, but at the end of the day, with the mentality I had, luckily enough, that my mentor taught me, you know, don't focus on the problems. Focus on what you can do about your situation. You know, because there's always going to be things in the world that are shit, but it's how you deal with it that will determine your future. You know, I took it on the chin, you know, and I done what I could, and you know, I learned from it, and that's what I done. I took it as a lesson learned. I learned so much value from going through that trouble, going through that hardship. You know, and that's when you have a mentality like that, you don't really have problems in your life. You just have situations to solve. And look where it's taken me. It's taken me to do this, and this is, you know, this is my purpose. And it was before I took on that business, for me to help people. And now I'm fully standing within my purpose because of COVID. You know, I thank COVID. So, you know, it's all a mindset. It's all perception. So, you know, I went from somebody that literally used to have a completely different life, you know, very external, surface level life, no meaning, no purpose, no clarity, anxiety, depression, and was at a point in my life where, you know, suicidal thoughts and wanting to take my life. and I transitioned into an accredited mental health first aider, transformational leader, which now teaches people how to develop strong mentalities, helping people and teaching people how to bring their dreams into reality, like I have. And now I teach others. I've had an amazing opportunity to help and teach other people, and now I'm at a stage where I'm coaching people and teaching people how they can have their own lucrative online personal development coaching business for you to literally go out there and change people's lives and make a full-time business or a part-time business, scaling your own business, and with nothing other than our systems, our apps, for you to achieve that. We've created this for you, so you can literally have your training program and your business in your pocket. And that, I'm very proud of that, because what an opportunity for people. I've lost, I wouldn't say lost, but I've invested a lot of money and time into building this, so people don't have to go through that. I wouldn't want anyone to go through that struggle or that pain, to create financial freedom for themselves. If I can give somebody the ability to literally copy and paste my business to go out there and help people, why not? Why not do that? So I hope you like this video, guys, and just wanted to express my story about the concept of opening up the full potential of your mind through the Full Potential of Mind program, and what we're up to at the minute, where I was in my life, where I am now. And if you've got a story that you want to tell, I'd love to hear it from you, because it's time to talk up. It's not about telling people, it's not about being a closed book, telling people about your highlights and the best parts of your life. It's about being real, and this is what's going to help people at the end of the day. Because if I can inspire you with my story, hopefully you'll reach out to me and inspire other people with your stories, and hopefully I can help you open up the full potential of your mind. Because it really is life changing. It really is. It's like taking the lens off, the blurry lens, and seeing life for what it really is and what it could be, and going out there and achieving it. So, hope you like this video, guys, and if you've got any questions about anything that we do in our business, be more than happy to answer your questions for you. If you're going through a hard time, we've got instructors in our company that are always accessible. I'm accessible, so feel free to message me whenever you need to. If it's about personal things, if it's about business, then I'd be more than happy for me to express some advice to you guys if you feel like you need it. And apart from that, have a lovely day, lovely week, lovely life, and we hope to see you reaching your full potential. Take care, guys. And I'm burning rubber like I need new tires. I'ma give it all, I'ma die trying. No, I'ma die high, I'ma die smiling. It's the everyday I'm dreaming, vivid, living, lucid, flowing, stupid. Got the sparkle in my eye, I blame it on the Lucy. I've been soul searching, changed my whole purpose. And they wonder why I'm at home working. My future's what I make it, so it's so certain. They really don't want to see this boy just living in peace, but now that I'm popping, they all want a piece. And here we go, do it again and again and again. Here we go again, yeah. Here we go again, yeah.